Hello and welcome to our October update here on the farm at Revesby Estates. So in this edition you're going to see the completion of our main winter wheat drilling campaign. We've got some wheat trials going in and also the finish of our combinable harvest with the harvesting of the chickpeas and the haricot beans. Now the weather in October started off pretty awful. We thought we was in for a shocking month again, and we've ended up with 86 mil of rain. That mainly fell at the beginning, so 3 inches of rain very early on, which meant drilling pretty tricky. But as it's turned out, we've gone into a very long dry and fairly mild spell. So conditions are well, crops are establishing well. We're battling slugs still, but other than that, we are getting on okay. We've had a maximum temperature of 19 degrees and we've actually had a low of minus 0.4, but again it was towards the beginning of the month. So I hope you enjoy this update. So now we'll take a look at us drilling our large winter wheat plots. Join me now, just drilling our large wheat trial plots for Agri. We've been doing this now 6 years, half-hectare plots or thereabouts of 18 different wheat varieties going in. Takes some doing because it's individual bags, 20 kilo bags, 4 bags per variety. We have to pop them in the drill, calibrate up, go down the field, back up the field, empty anything out what's left in, refill with another variety and repeat 18 times. Takes about 20 minutes per variety to actually complete that, because these great big drills are great for getting area covered, but not the best when you're just dealing with little bags, because it's quite a long way up here. So yeah, it's really worthwhile though. A lot of data's gathered from this, looking at established varieties, comparing with new varieties coming along, looking at nutrition, fungicide, resistance to disease, such like. So, and then we have an open day and other farmers come and have a look. So a full day putting them in, but we'll have a lot of data come out of it. Now last year we did it and it rained just after we put them in, the field flooded and we lost it. So this year we're a bit earlier, 4th of October. We have just had 4 inches of rain 4 days ago. It's incredible how this land is travelling, so fingers crossed this will be a good trial. So when I say we calibrate the drill, what do I actually mean? Well, as we change seed variety, their 1,000 grain weight will change, and that means the weight of 1,000 grains will increase or decrease depending on each variety and how much weight is in a grain. So we drill seeds a metre squared, so in this case we're putting 350 seeds a metre squared down. So depending on the 1,000 grain weight, we know what weight that is per metre and then per hectare. So we have to we then work that into kilograms a hectare, and we tell the drill box how many kilograms a hectare to put on. The drill then has to work out per revolution of its metering wheel how many kilos it's put out. If the grain is weighing more, then it'll put more out per revolution. So it just has to understand. So how do we do that? In the drill box in the computer, we set it into calibrate mode, and then if we come down here, you can see here is the metering unit here. This is the motor which is turning a shaft in there which has got the dispenser on it. I've hung a bag underneath these tubes here to catch. Now I'm going to flick this switch here. That has now started this motor going. The grain is dropping down and into the bag here. So that bag is catching what is coming out of here. I then turn this one off and everything has been caught. It's now in that bag. It knows as soon as I hit go, it's counted the revolutions of that motor, of that shaft. And when I weigh this now, I'll input that weight into the computer and it'll work out per revolution how many kilos or points of a kilo is dropping out. So it therefore knows whatever speed I'm going at, how fast to turn that shaft. Here we go, we hang it on the weighing scales. 7.81 kilos was dispensed. So here we are in the cab, in the calibration screen, and it's this figure here, cal value 7.44. We want to change that to 7.81, and then when I hit enter, you'll see that getting entered in here, and it'll change my speed ranges. What I can do, there you go, I can change them much, but minimum speed 2.5k, maximum speed 21k. That's fine. Maximum speed we're doing is 10. We're travelling around 8 because we're crossing the tram lines here, so we're well within the parameters of the metering unit. So here we are now drilling. Not very far up there where we're going, just going up and back down again. Sprint putting it in. Computer there just monitoring everything. Like I say, 8.6k being done. So we're going up and back 20 meters each variety. We're leaving a little gap next to it, and I can do that on my GPS screen here. I just hit my nudge button and it takes us 35 centimeters across to the right every variety, so we've got a nice split so we can see where each variety starts and stops. And hopefully 3:30 at the moment, come 9 o'clock we'll have this drilled. And now we're going to take a look at Zach completing the rest of our harvest. So it's the 15th of October and we've got Zach trying to harvest our haricot beans. Quite late on in the season because we've come across a problem with our haricot beans this year, and that problem has been this nightshade. So this here is nightshade. The berries on the nightshade are like little tomatoes. You squeeze them, they're very wet, lots of seed in them. That was causing us issues with harvest because it was just clogging up the machine and we couldn't separate the beans out of it, nor could we store them. So we've had to leave it later. A lot of them have now died off. You can see here how they've shriveled up, and it's allowing us to now get some beans, but we unfortunately are going to have to leave some areas where we got the worst of it. These are a novel crop though, these are a trial, so we will come across problems. Not such an issue here because we probably could have hoed these out in the future, and then we would have had these beans in harvested probably 2-3 weeks earlier than where we are now. So we're now riding on board here with Zach, harvesting these haricot beans. Zach having to concentrate because there's not much crop, trying to get down low to the ground to get them. And here are the beans coming into the tank. Well, Zach's just finishing getting what we can of the haricots. I've now come down to our chickpea field. So we haven't harvested the chickpeas yet because these weren't ready at the last opportunity at the end of sort of September when we last tried the haricots. These were still green and not quite ready, and the weather's been against us. We've then been busy getting the drilling out of the way, and we've got this slight weather window now before the more rain comes in later on. So another half an hour or so, Zach will be down here. So let's just take a look at the chickpea. So unfortunately they are now well ready, from not being ready at all to suddenly being ready, but we're learning all the time. So we're learning they do not like the weather. You can see pods have been opening up on them, dropping out. If we get a pod and we open it up, we can also see they are going slightly fusty as well. Lots of pods. Hear them all rattling away in there. There you go, top ones there. The problem was when we had to desiccate these off, some weren't quite at the right stage, which means these ones have got a bit mouldy. The better ones were in the middle of the plant, like that one there. We're at the right stage. With it being an indeterminate crop, it will keep on flowering until we decide that's enough. So yeah, interesting. So here we are again in the cab with Zach harvesting these chickpeas. You can see they are very dusty indeed. Quite a nice crop coming in though, just a shame we was quite late getting to the harvest of them. And so here are our harvested haricot beans and our chickpeas. So we've just put them on our drying floor here to get some air for them, to dry them out and to condition them up. So let's take a look. You can see here, because we've only got small amounts, we've just partitioned them off. Here are the haricot beans. Got a bit of nightshade seeds in there, but we can put them through the aspirator and get rid of those. These are now set nice and dry and cooled down and conditioned. And then you can see the chickpeas not looking the best because of the weather on them. They should all really look more like the orangey ones rather than the black and grey ones. So yeah, all been conditioned now. Sat waiting to get determined now what we can do with them. We're currently just drilling our last field of a winter wheat. We actually finished drilling a week ago, our main block. But this field I'm stood in now is another one of our trial fields. It is undersown with clover. We established the clover in the rape. It's a very tricky field. You can see the water sat behind me. It's a very tricky field in the fact that it's heavy land. It's very wet, got a high blackgrass population on it, so we actually struggle with the wheats in here. So what we've done is we've established a clover lay. The idea of this is going to go continuous wheat now, so wheat after wheat after wheat. The idea of the clover is it's a different rooting in there, so it will help us with take all, and also it forms a mat across the surface, meaning the machines can travel without sinking into it. We've left this one deliberately later because there's potentially more slug risk, so we were hoping it would have cooled down a bit by now, but we're still warm, so we're hoping the slug risk has gone. But it's a balancing act because we need the wheat in and to be competitive, so we decided to drill now whilst we can still get the wheat up and away to outgrow the slugs. So let's just take a look at what we're looking at. So here you can see the actual clover, here the mat of clover giving us strength. The wheels are going to travel on this, and then the avatar is going to come and stitch the wheat into here. You can just see Zach there with the avatar drilling into it. The benefit of the clover, it's still getting established. We've got places where I haven't got a lot of clover on yet, but it will take over these, because we don't have to use a herbicide for blackgrass control because it swamps the blackgrass out. What we've got to be mindful of though is if it swamps the wheat out. So yeah, follow this and see how we get on through the year. So here we see Zach drilling into this clover with the avatar. We can see here where it's been. Put the rows in. So let's just take a look at where the seed is. And there is the seed, just sat nicely down there amongst the clover. So yeah, like I say, the idea here is this will go wheat after wheat each year. The clover will get further established, giving us a mat to travel on, and hopefully we won't get as much pressure from take all as well. Fingers crossed. If this fails, we will put this into a steward chip, into an SFI option, and we will take it down to actual crop production, and we'll put it into one of the sustainable farming incentive options. So I hope you found that video informative, show what we've been, a little bit of what we've been up to this month. So next month, hopefully you'll join us again, and we'll see the crop behind us, the sugar beet. Bush and Sons have been in, lifting us some beet out here, so we will show that next month. So we look forward to seeing you again then.